More trouble tonight for developers of the Stamp Industrial Park in Genesee County. The state notified the Genesee County Economic Development Center on Monday that it violated its state permits after drilling fluid was spilled earlier this month in some protected wetlands. The Genesee County EDC is building a pipeline from the 12,000-acre stamp site to a creek in Orleans County, which will travel through the Iroquois National Wildlife Refuge as part of that stamp project. The State Department of Environmental Conservation says 100 gallons of drilling fluid spilled into a half-acre area, and it's the second spill since mid-August. J. Dale Schumacher from our partners at Investigative Post has been following this story and other problems at the stamp project. He joins us now. Dale, we just briefly gave the viewers a thumbnail sketch of what's going on out there in Genesee County, but can you break it down a bit more for us?
Sure. So we are, like you said, talking about the Stamp Park, the Science, Technology, and Advanced Manufacturing Park. This is a massive industrial park in rural Genesee County, kind of in the middle of nowhere, if we're being frank. Now, what that means, having an industrial park out there, is that you need infrastructure. Part of the infrastructure for Stamp is a wastewater pipeline that will run 9 miles from the Stamp site through the Iroquois National Wildlife Refuge, across the county line, into Orleans County, and eventually discharge into the Oak Orchard Creek. Now, the last time I was here to talk about this, we were talking about how Orleans County is upset with this. They don't want this pipeline to cross the county line and discharge into their creek. However, before it gets to that point, it's got to go through the wildlife refuge. And crews are currently drilling this, trying to build this pipeline through that refuge. What happened in August and then again a couple weeks ago is that crews encountered sinkholes, and that caused the drilling fluids, they're doing horizontal drilling, to spill out into these very sensitive wetlands.
All right. Now, they're running this pipe down Route 77, aren't they?
63.
Or 63. Thank you very much for the correction. But it's already going along this side of the road, right? Where there's already power lines, gas lines, maybe water lines, other utilities. We're not talking about the Alaska pipeline and a big thing that runs through the middle of where the geese land, are we?
Well, you're partially right, and there's also some considerations that we need to take here. So yes, it is going to be in the right-of-way of Route 63. However, the refuge abuts that road, and the wetlands do as well. So you have wetlands very close to this right-of-way area. And you also have this horizontal drilling that they're doing that is causing issues, and it's getting into these sensitive wetlands.
All right. Do we know, and we say this was a hazardous spill, have they told us what exactly was spilled in terms of the fluid, and really, does it pose any danger to any people? There's not a lot of people living around there.
Sure. So the danger is, let me start with this. What was spilled was a mixture of water and clay slurry. Now, this is a chemical that is used when you're drilling a pipeline horizontally to kind of seal things up so that you can get the pipeline through the ground that way. This is very water absorbent, meaning that when you put it in a wetland, that's not good. And the federal government says that when you put this kind of chemical into a wetland, that can harm the water quality and the organisms that live in that wetland. And in terms of people, you have the Tonawanda Seneca Nation that lives nearby this area, and a lot of those folks use wells, meaning that any harm to the groundwater could hypothetically harm their wells.
All right. Well, I remember when the biggest problem with this place was, will they get anyone to build there? Remember?
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Well, listen, we know you'll stay on top of this for us. We look forward to speaking to you again.
All right. Thank you so much.